Okay, let me fix my camera right there. 1 second. 1 minute. Just a little bit. Let me see. Get that to hold it up. Alright, so happy May the 4th. This might be a little short, maybe like 13 minutes or something, but and I usually like rant about stuff, but I was gonna do a video on why I hate Disney Star Wars, because I literally do, but I decided not to do that because I don't want to rant about everything on this special day. But yeah, instead, I'm gonna save that video for another day, but instead, I'm gonna talk about why Star Wars is a great movie franchise. So, first off, and this is gonna be a really short video because I've watched all movies, but there's a lot of people who know a lot more about me than it. Like, I've watched the prequels, and I've watched the 3 movies, the one in the 70s. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot more people who know more about it than me. But I still do know a lot about it though, and and I want to assure you, if you've never seen the Star Wars franchise, I recommend it to you. Today, my teacher, he put on the Phantom Menace first. That's not the first one I watched, but I think it should have though, because it's a good idea. So I would recommend watching the Phantom Menace first. But anyhow, I want to explain why franchise is one of the best movie franchises ever. I think it's better than Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Avatar, all of them. And they're all the redeeming qualities that they have. So first off, it's original. It's very original. It has a story that, and I know that there's a couple stories where it's like, oh, this kid is the chosen one. But I feel like this one is special because I feel like this one is the first one to do that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's not the first one, it's the first one that actually did it good and got popular by it. And I think that's what makes it so original. Now, there's also Star Trek. I'm not saying they copy Star Trek, because I do believe in inspiration, but I love both series. But what I'm saying is that Star Wars, I'm pretty sure they did take inspiration. I love them both series equally, but what I'm saying is that Star Wars is very original, and even though Star Trek and Star Wars are like almost the same, well, not really, not almost the same, but pretty much the same. It has like an expanded universe and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is that it's that Star Wars has its original story, and like it doesn't usually like copy off of everything, and it's just inspired by a lot of things, and I just think that's pretty cool. It's really inspired. It's not unoriginal. And speaking of original, it has a quite original story, and I think this because what I just explained is that I feel like it was the first ones to do such an original story like that. And then I'm going to talk about one thing that all fantasy movies can't have. Like, you could have great characters and your movie could still suck because you have a horrible world building. I like the franchise because the world building, like the way the world is built in the Star Wars universe, is beautiful. It's so expanded, all these solar systems, all these galaxies, these planets. It's very beautiful. Trust me, if you've never seen such movies, then I really recommend it, because it has a lot of different alien species, planets, solar systems, like and it's a bunch of different characters from all those, and I just think that's cool. And me as a Dragon Ball Z fan, sorry for bringing that into this, but I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan, and Dragon Ball Z has that same kind of mentality, like alien and stuff, and I'm interested in stuff like that because it's not like a bit hard to explain, but I like it when it has a lot of lore to it, when the universe is very expanded, and that's exactly what Star Wars is. It's perfect, and like it has all of that inside of it, and that's what makes the franchise of these stories so great. And these characters too, and I'm not talking about the Disney ones, because we can all agree that Disney probably ruined Star Wars. Probably the worst thing that happened on this earth. They ruined Luke. They ruined all the characters. But we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about that in a different video. But my explanation is that in the movies before Disney had it, they had wonderful characters. Luke Skywalker was a great character because if you look at the movies he was in, it shows him. You can't compare it to Disney because it shows him trying to become, like, going through progress, going through effort and training to become to redeem himself. Well, not redeem himself because he's already a good guy, but to make himself good, to reach his goal. And I think that's awesome because I like when characters have progression, that kind of progression. The reason it's so different from the Disney Star Wars is because I feel like Rey just had zero progression. The main character, Rey, she was just gifted at birth and woohoo, Jesus Christ or something. And I feel like characters should have some kind of progression so you could relate with them, and that's what Star Wars uses. And just for the one note, I didn't think Disney was able to create a worse character than Jar Jar, but okay. Also, yeah, I told you it's gonna be a short video because I know there's a lot of people that know a lot more of the series than me, but regardless, I still think it's a very great series. If you've never seen Star Wars movies, I really recommend it. And what I'm saying is that I made this video short, and I would have talked about it more if, number one, that I grew up with it, because like I know there's some people I know that like watched Star Wars when they were like 4 years old. I watched it when I was like 8. I don't think that's like enough to make me talking about it for 24 minutes. I can talk about religion for 24 minutes, but I don't think I can talk about Star Wars for 24 minutes. I think, well, regardless, I still do think it's a very good series and I would recommend it. But my point is that maybe someday I'll be able to make a longer video talking about Star Wars. But I will tell you one thing. If my video about Disney Star Wars sucking, if I make a rant about that video is going to be very long. Because I hate a lot of things about the new one. But yeah, overall, I'm not going to discuss that today because I want to have a good day. And I don't want to just be complaining all the time. So yeah, I hope you guys do a good time. I really recommend to see the franchise series. They're very wonderful. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. I'm begging you, please go watch it. And shout out to my friend Mason, who always watches my videos. The only person. But yeah, I recommend it, guys. Thank you. Goodbye.